Ladies and gentlemen, we will now begin the question and answer session. Anyone who wishes to ask a question may press star and one on their touchtone telephone. If you wish to remove yourself from the question queue, you may press star and two. Participants are requested to use handsets while asking a question. Ladies and gentlemen, we will wait for a moment while the question queue assembles. The first question is from the line of Kapil Singh from Nomura Securities. Please go ahead.
Hi sir, congrats on a great set of numbers, especially the ad revenue growth. Can you please share some insights as to what has driven this, and do you see the momentum continuing? And secondly, we are also investing significantly in content. So what are the areas in which we are investing in, and what is the plan going ahead? Some color on that as well, please. Thanks.
Yeah, actually, basically, the primary, driver for growth is across all languages in both southern states. We have demonstrated decent growth in terms of revenue. On an average, 21%. But there was some significant revenue growth in Malayalam and Kannada, which is much above the average. This is primarily because of increase in the utilization levels, because the previous year's quarter was impacted due to demonetization. So our fill levels have gone up significantly. So that has contributed to the growth in the overall revenue and revenue. And on the content side, as compared to the previous year, like we have been discussing on the call, basically we have moved away from the commission model to the private producer model to the commission model in couple of slots in the Tamil Nadu market. That has contributed to the increase in the cost of content. And also we have been consistently spending money on some impact properties and also some high value fiction properties regularly, which will be the trend in future, considering the onslaught of competition from new players into our market. So that has contributed to the increase in the cost of content.
Okay, thanks, sir. And just one more thing. As far as other languages or genres are concerned, is there any plan or thoughts or vision that you would like to update?
No, it's all work in progress. So we will let you know when we get closer to the reality.
Okay, thanks a lot, sir.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Yogesh Karwa from B&K Securities. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thanks for the opportunity. So we understand Sun TV has been in some sort of a negotiation or discussion with Arasu regarding the content deal for the digital subscriber. So do you have anything to share at this point?
Nothing to share. I think we will communicate officially when we sign the agreement here.
So the thing, so in Tamil Nadu, is there any deadline which is on record that we are looking forward to as far as digitization is concerned, or what's the current status in terms of legal and regulatory mandate?
I think the sense we are getting is the digitization is imminent in Tamil Nadu. So I think based on the information available in public domain, Arasu has communicated to the ministry that by 31st of March they will switch off analog signals in Tamil Nadu, which means that the entire state will go into digitization. Maybe from the month of March, it might take a couple of months for us for the entire digitization to fructify. So I think as compared to the uncertainty in the past, it is moving in a direction where digitization is going to happen for sure in the state.
Mm-hmm. So can you also share, your estimate regarding the number of cable subscribers that have been seated with set-top box by the Arasu?
See, there is no official numbers available, but our guess currently is total number of boxes seated in Tamil Nadu by all cable operators including RSU and other private players, is approximately 3 million.
3 million. Great. And secondly, so in terms of the content cost, I mean, so even if we see on the quarter-on-quarter basis, so there has been an increase. So are there any major marquee properties that we launched specifically during the quarter, or there has been any significant migration to commission model specifically in this quarter compared to previous one?
Well, I think there were some big scale events which happened in this quarter, which was not there in the previous quarter, which resulted to the increase in cost. And also, I think 2 to 3 slots moved away from the private producer to the commission model in this quarter. I think 1 in the prime time in Sun TV and 2 slots in the afternoon time.
Okay. Sure, sir. That was helpful. Thanks a lot and all the best.
Thank you.
Thank you. We have the next question from the line of Sanjay Chawla from JM Financial. Please go ahead.
Hi, thank you for the opportunity. First question is, can you provide the breakup of the revenues? And, a related question is the 22% ad revenue growth. This is, now we are including broadcast fee also, right? I mean, with the reduction in the PP slots. So, what is the like-for-like ad growth that one should look at on a YOY basis? That's the first question.
Yeah, Sanjay, I'll just give you the breakup. The ad revenue is around 338 crores, broadcast revenue is around 20 crores, international subscription revenue is around 41 crores, analog digital is around 95 crores, DT is around 187 crores, and the balance around 3 crores.
Okay, so 20 crore is the broadcast fee revenue. Sorry, you said that?
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
Okay. I guess then we can work out the like for like. Okay. And then second question is, what is the movie amortization expense this quarter, specifically the movie amortization cost?
It's around 96 crores. 96. Depreciations around 17.8, and the balance 96 odd crores is the amortization.
Okay, got it. The last question is, SL, we have seen the dividend continuing at 2.5 rupees a share. One would have expected this to grow this year. I mean, we are still on track with, to basically match what we paid out last year, FY17. So, is there no possibility of, seeing a DPS growth this fiscal year?
I think for the current quarter, like in the previous 2 quarters, they have given a 50%. So possibly by the end of the year, the board will be, we hope they will reconvene like what they did in the last 2 years and relook at stepping up the numbers. They are aware of the fact that there has been also, the matters under discussion with improved cash flows. So I think we just maintain a quarterly number. So I think we do hope that it will get revisited before March.
I mean, we are seeing ad growth recovery happening. We're also going to see no losses in IPL next year. So what is the cash balance right now?
They're about 1,500 crores. 1,700 crores. Yeah, 1,700 crores.
This is cash and cash equivalents?
Yes, correct.
Okay. Thank you, and all the best.
Thank you. A reminder to our participants, anyone who wishes to ask a question at this time, they may please press star and 1. We have the next question from the line of Jay Doshi from Kotak Securities. Please go ahead.
Hi, thanks for the opportunity and good to see good advertising revenue numbers. Just one thing, could you give us some idea? I can understand that maybe you can't talk much about what to expect from Arasu until you close the deal. But can you give us some color on what is the kind of churn that you've seen in Tamil market from cable to DTH, and when can we expect that to start reflecting in your DTH subscription revenue? And again, would the average rate be similar to what it is right now on a per subscriber basis from DTH?
Actually, we have I think already started seeing some traction in the DTH numbers. So For the month of January, I think even our own group company, Sun Direct, recorded some phenomenal growth in terms of overall gross adds, primarily driven by majority coming from Tamil Nadu. So we expect that similar such numbers would have gone to the other major DTH operators.
Right. So what was the closing, what was the closing DTH subs number for December quarter?
14.45 million.
Okay, so not much of an increase, 150,000 maybe versus from
Correct. Yeah.
And where do you expect it to be 6 months from now, since you're mentioning that January was the month when you've seen a lot of pickup?
Yeah, I think that's what I said. Basically, now we are seeing a lot of action on the ground. What we hear from the market is basically RSO has already deployed close to 1.5 million boxes, seeded 1.5 million boxes into the market, and we are seeing some of the other major MSOs also now importing and started deploying boxes aggressively in the market. So we are hoping that if whatever the RSO has committed, that 31st March they will actually switch off the signals, then I think in the month of April, May, June, there will be a lot of action and activity in terms of digitization in Tamil Nadu. So I think practically there could be a big ramp up in numbers between April to June, and then it will settle down by September is what is our take.
Got it. Understood. And just one quick one on advertising revenue. So see, if I were to look at advertising revenue number on a sequential basis, it's more or less flattish. And usually, YOY numbers are, growth numbers are very good given the base was favorable. But shouldn't it be the case that, on a sequential basis also, ideally December quarter is a little stronger? So there should have been a little bit of uptick there as well. So has anything changed in terms of the, demand in Tamil market? And this is purely from a sequential perspective. And even if you can answer this, purely from Tamil market perspective, that is also fine.
No. Actually, it's not basically really any specific to market. There has been some marginal growth in the overall ad revenue as compared to Q2. So I think when we analyze as compared to the previous year, there was one big festive which was actually generally used to happen in Q3. This time is moved to Q2, which is basically Dussehra. So the revenue for that, which across all the markets, we could not realize. So that is one of the reason why there could be some marginal dip in this thing. But see, what happened is, typically post Diwali is actually a very lull month. So this time Diwali happened to be in October. So November was actually pretty much a dry month, but I think we could see some good traction happening in December. So purely from our market standpoint, I think Q2 has got a lot of festives. For example, Onam, which is a major festive in Kerala. Dussehra, which is a big thing in Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, etc. So in terms of number of festive days, this time Q2 had more number of festive days as compared to Q3. So which, that traction was we could not get that in Q3, that's it. Otherwise, in terms of fill levels, I think we are more or less, we were able to sell all our inventory.
Got it. And the final one is, can you give us some idea on the progress that's happening on the Sun Next digital platform? What are the investments that you are making? And last quarter you had indicated that maybe you'll come back with some numbers or some metrics that helps us understand and track.
Jay, I think one important factor to be noted is this is really an investment for the future. So some of the expenses that we have carried this quarter is in the nature of beefing up our presence on the OTT, which we didn't have in December of last year. In fact, these results have to be seen in the light of those additional investments which have been done. And also in the last quarter, we did not accrue for CSR obligations under the Companies Act. So that's also something which has come up.
December versus the previous year.
So there are some additional costs that we are carrying here. So in that sense, this quarter's performance should be seen as a lot better than what it really is. We still are not sure if we should disclose the investments made in the OTT. We will come back to you because at this point in time, we're strictly bound by whatever we are releasing to the exchange. But we will come back to you and start disclosing what we are investing on the Sun Next platform.
No. So I was not actually. I didn't mean to ask about the amount per se. I was broadly, what's your strategy there, and what is the progress in terms of app downloads or daily active users?
The strategy here is one of because nobody knows the future. Everybody is investing, and it looks like this is the way the world is moving. At least the significant shifts that have happened in the United States lead us to believe that we should be prepared with an alternate distribution mechanism. But I think it is still early days, given the fact that you get a bewildering range of channels at 500-600 rupees on DTH, including HD transmission. I'm not sure if, and also people don't, all of them don't have smart TVs and all that. So I think it's going to take a while before this becomes a significant revenue stream. So till that happens, we just want to make sure that we keep our powder dry and we have all kinds of options available. As and when it picks up, I'm sure we will start making gains on this. At this point in time, in terms of total downloads, it's about 6 million or something.
Understood. All right. Thank you so much, and all the best for the next quarter.
Thank you. The next question is on the line of Sonal Kohli from ENR Advisors. Please go ahead.
Congratulations, sir, on very good set of numbers. Just one question. You mentioned that we are going to see 3 million more potential demand of boxes from Tamil Nadu. This includes boxes under. You mean these are incremental numbers, and if incremental numbers from which quarter? And this, I presume, would include both demand from DTH and cable.
Sonal, I think your statement was not quite audible. Is our understanding right that you are trying to asking when you're expecting the seeding of the boxes in the TN space? Was that a question?
Sir, actually, yes, there are two questions. The first question is that, I think in the call you mentioned that there is a 3 million incremental demand of set-up boxes you're seeing in Tamil Nadu. So I wanted to confirm that number. And the 3 million number you are mentioning is the demand for set-up boxes including all forms, both DTH, cable. And this 3 million incremental number is from which quarter? Are you saying that you will see 3 million more numbers from today or 3 million more numbers from 31st December?
No, actually, see, it's not demand. I think what I said is basically our estimate based on the whatever feedback we get from the ground is the cable operators, including Arasu in Tamil Nadu, has deployed 3 million boxes as of now. See, the total potential, like what we have been talking about, is approximately 12.5 million, 10 to 12.5 million is what is the total potential between DTH and cable. So out of which cable has deployed 3 million and DTH is also continue to deploy. So, but I think we will get clarity and more clear picture as we go forward when digitization actually happens, which we anticipate, by 31st March, they might switch off the analog signal. So there will be more clarity which will emerge during the Q1, is what is our estimate.
Sorry, sir, apologies, I couldn't really follow. When you say 3 million, you mean this is the incremental you expect, or this is what is already
it's incremental for us, the incremental revenue, right?
Sorry?
No, see, we've been getting only a flat number from Arasu. So, what Mahesh is saying is, this 3 million boxes is what is seeded on the ground between Arasu and the private operators. So, revenues will start accruing to us. Arasu, we are waiting for the final sign-off of the agreement. So, once that happens, we will have possibly, hopefully, during this quarter, we should be able to recognize the revenues. And assuming, as per the market indications, that by 31st March, the analog switch off happens, I think the speeding up of further conversion on the ground between the cable, digital cable and DTH would happen over the next couple of quarters.
And that number is somewhere between 10.5 to 12.5 million.
Yeah, correct.
That's an estimated number.
Estimated numbers. Till we go through the entire course, we wouldn't really. These are all estimates from the market, which is possibly, obviously dated.
Sure, sir. What I'm asking is, this is an incremental number. This is not the total number which you see in a steady state, 10.5 to 12.5 million.
It's incremental.
It's incremental, because today
Tamil Nadu, we don't realize any digital revenue at all.
Correct. It's a flat number, no? So flat fee of 2.5 crores. So that
from DTH you would have something, right?
Yeah, but we wouldn't know. See, the total number in TN is around 17 million, of which we removed, taken an assumption of about 4 to 5 million as being towards the DTH. So that's the remaining number of 10 to 12 million households we're looking at to be as part of converting from analog to a DTH or a digital. So you're right. I mean, that is the incremental number over the complete process of transformation and digitization.
So understood. So lastly, considering that this quarter Diwali happened much earlier and you didn't see positive impact of Dussehra, and also I think the last year your base wasn't so low because there was a lag between demonetization and advertisement degrowth, and Q4 was much more negative. Is it fair to assume that your ad growth in Q4, unless some one-off happens, would be much higher than Q3?
Ad growth in
Q4 would be much higher than Q3 in terms of Y-on-Y.
No, we wouldn't want to comment anything on the current quarter, my friend.
Sure. Okay. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, in order to ensure that the management is able to address questions from all the participants in the conference, please limit your question to 2 per participant. Thank you. We have the next question from the line of Mayur Patel from DSP BlackRock. Please go ahead.
Thank you, sir. Congratulations for good set of numbers. Just want to clarify again, sorry for touching on the same topic. So just want to confirm that sometime back it was told that Sun TV has stopped, sending, means it's not being broadcasted on RSU, and until there is some understanding is achieved. So is it still the status quo, or now Sun TV?
Just for a couple of days.
Couple of days. Subsequently, we have been in discussions with them, and things are almost the final stages.
Okay.
So signals are available in RSU cable.
Yeah.
And the negotiations are going on in a very, very cordial manner. We are giving some final touches to the agreement. So I think anytime we will be signing the agreement and then sealing the commercial understanding.
Okay. So say whenever the agreement is finalized, from the next day onwards, at least immediately 3 million set-top box into whatever is the agreed price, is the revenue will start flowing into you. Is it fair to assume?
Yeah, whatever is the number which RSU has deployed. So
whatever. Okay. Out of the 3 million set-top boxes total.
No, but even as we speak, the set-top boxes are flying off the shelves between Tata Sky, Sun Direct, and Bharti, the 3 largest players in in the Tamil Nadu market. So we really don't know what number will actually come through by RSU, because that's not something that we can even hazard a guess, because we don't know. But from whatever commercial intelligence that we've gathered, it looks like they've
deployed 1.5.
Correct.
Okay. So is it fair to assume other than RSU, other MSOs would also be at the similar pricing whenever these things get ironed out over next 3 months?
The pricing for content is party specific. There's no one size fits all. As it's again a matter of negotiation, and also the kind of scale that is being offered by the other vendor. So you get privileged terms when you have very large customer base. So there is no one size fits all here.
Okay. So is it then, sorry, I'm just trying to infer things. So whatever is the price which would be agreed with RSU, which has a definitely much larger scale than the other vendors, the other MSOs, So at least it would be fair for us to assume the other MSOs would at least be at par with RSU pricing, if not less. If not more.
Correct.
Yeah, okay.
Correct.
And so, like you mentioned, so 31st March, you think this time around, the regulators would stick to the timeline? What is your personal view, or it can get extended?
I think I'm saying our judgment of the situation is basically because, RSU has really been serious about digitization this time. They have placed firm orders for importing set-top boxes. The boxes have actually landed, and there was a newspaper report yesterday that they are actually distributing 500,000 boxes to various markets. So based on all this, it indicates that they are pretty serious, and also they are switching off some the signals in some analog signals in some markets for set-top box to speed up the digitization. So all this, what we infer from all this is they are pretty serious, and we also know that there is some communication which they have sent to the MIT that by 31st March they will switch off analog. So I think this time around, I think we feel it's moving in a direction where the state will go digital.
Fine, sir. Thanks a lot and all the best. I'll come back for more questions if
Thank you. Before we take the next question, I'd like to remind our participant to limit your question to 2 per participants. Thank you. The next question is from the line of Himanshu Shah from HDFC Securities. Please go ahead. Seems we have lost the line for Himanshu. We have the next question from the line of Jiten Doshi from Enam Asset Management. Please go ahead.
Yeah. SL, congratulations on a good show. My question pertains to, what deadline do you see for the entire digitization to be complete? And just give us a flavor, where can our total subscription revenue go if India was to totally digitize? So it may be a year or 2 or 3 away, but when you complete that process, what sort of upsides are we looking at?
I think we don't know about the rest of India. We are only keen on the 4 southern states. The biggest upside is TN. We believe at least another 12 to 13 million would that be right, Mahesh? Yeah. 12 to 13 million subscriptions are possibly on analog at this time. So that's the opportunity that we think will convert in the next few months. And going by the progress that's happening at the ground level, we are extremely confident that this is going to get wrapped up in the next few weeks, if not days.
Yeah, so post-digitization across the 4 states, what can happen to your existing subscription revenues? Do they double? Do they treble? Where does it go?
If you look at our existing subscription revenues measured between DTH and cable, it's roughly about 270 crores. And if you annualize that, it's roughly at about 1,100 crores. We think the Tamil Nadu opportunity could result in another 350 to 400 crores in additional revenues.
Okay. My second question is that, have you, last year you all had violated what you promised as a dividend payout policy. And I'm just wondering, this is the highest ever level of cash that you're sitting on, am I right? We have never sat on 1,700 crores of cash ever before. So, any thoughts on why are you trying to hoard so much of cash? Is there any plan for that, or?
No, the thing is, there's no hoarding and all that. See, this is a time when, there is an imminent shakeout in the financial markets. There is also a booming opportunity in other, parts of the media and internet. So we'd like to be liquid at this point in time because this is the time when we could also pick up some very attractive assets. I'm not saying that, we're trying to acquire somebody at this point in time, but it pays to be extremely liquid and without any kind of debt obligations at a time like this. So that's the reason why, we're just building on the cash. So there's nothing, we still are committed to that overall, overarching policy of trying to keep a lean balance sheet and boosting return on equity. That approach and that policy level objective stands out of date. But as I said, this is the time that we want to be extremely strong because there's lots of things happening in the media and industry world, and if there is some the reason why people survive in a certain industry which goes through a turbulent time is because of their balance sheet strength. So we think out of very self-enlightened interest, we'd like to hold some excessive levels of liquidity at least for the next few months. That's about it.
Thank you. Mr. Doshi, would request you to join the question queue for any follow-ups, as we have several participants waiting for their turn. Thank you. We have the next question from the line of Rohit from HDFC Securities. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hi, this is Rohit Dukani from IDFC Securities. Just two questions from my side. Can you talk about the sort of ratings across your four markets, in the recent past, and in conjunction with that, how should one look at in terms of ad revenue growth for the next fiscal, in terms of broader qualitative outlook?
I think, so basically in Tamil Nadu, I think we have been retaining a position. We are very, very strongly entrenched as the number one player in all genres of channels we are present. I think basically this quarter we have seen some good upside in two other markets where we have been lagging in the rating numbers. In Udaya TV has grown 68% in terms of the overall GRP numbers as compared to what it was the last year. And Surya has demonstrated a growth of 60%. And these are two markets where we had serious concerns and we made some serious inroads into in these markets, and it's been a big turnaround. And we hope that I think we will be able to maintain this position, or we are working towards improving the position. So though in Telugu there has been a little bit of slippages, but in the last 4 to 6 weeks we have been consistently being number one. So I mean that's where we are on the rating.
Sure. And the ad outlook, sir?
Outlook, I think, that's more to do with seasonality, but if you look at the growth which we have seen this quarter, we are able to monetize the improvement in rating numbers in Surya TV and in Udaya TV, because in Malayalam we have shown a growth of 48% in our revenue, and from the Kannada market we have shown a growth of 27% in this quarter. So with this improved ratings, I think we should be able to demonstrate the same level of growth.
Okay, that is helpful, sir. The last question from my side is, if I look at your 9-month salary cost, that's increased by 14%, whereas PBT would have increased in the range of 7%. So is there any change, in terms of the payments made to the directors, or it continues to remain the same?
We had the couple of things. One, I think, cumulatively, one is the incremental number on account of the yearly revisions, and also we had moved out some staff.
So we had actually closed down two news channels, which is Gemini News and Udaya News, because it was not giving any major numbers. So we have actually done some settlement with employees, approximately 300 employees.
Okay.
So that's the, I mean, that was one.
That's a one-off.
That's a one-off cost which we incurred.
At least for the 9 months also that would help, if not for the quarter.
No, I mean, what I'm saying is for the 9 months.
I understand that. Yes, can you quantify that, sir? For how much was that amount, that one-off amount for the 9 months, just that number, if possible?
No, we wouldn't want to get into specifics.
Sure, I understand. Thank you and wish you all the best.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Kunal Vora from BNP Paribas. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thanks for the opportunity, sir. Two questions. One is, I was looking at Sun Next, and I saw that you are charging about 50 rupees for just the Tamil content, which seems high in the context of so much free content which is available. Just wanted to understand your strategy for monetizing of your content, and also your tie-ups with YouTube and other OTT, external OTTs. What's the status of that?
There's a lot of free content because it's not very valuable. We think
Okay.
So that addresses your first question.
Okay.
And on YouTube and all that, we think in long run we'd like to be in control of our destiny. So we probably will not look for those kind of options. But as I said, this whole thing is still evolving, because I don't think too many people who are going to jettison the conventional way of viewing and going in favor of OTT. So that's the reason why we don't have a view at this point in time.
So how's the initial response been to your offer, Sun Next? Are customers subscribing to it?
Yeah, they are, but as I said, given the value prop for DTH or a digital cable, I don't think people are going to shift. I mean, you give it for free, like some of the other OTTs are available on a free thing. People will just take it. But we didn't think that was a viable option, especially because we have such a huge library on films. And if people are just going to be watching, and if the whole model is going to be based on ad revenues generated out of those views, it didn't make any sense. And whatever sensitivities that we ran on a business model, it only showed that the network haulage costs are going to be absolutely humongous. So that's the reason why we made it for pay, so that people who want to actually watch this on the go or on a smart TV have the ability to pay. So we may not grow spectacularly, but at least we are not going to lose our shirts on this.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Rajiv Sharma from HSBC. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thanks for the opportunity. First question is on your, content cost. So you moving from private broadcasters to commission model, and every quarter we see some cost building up because of this phenomena. How much we are in terms of, private slots today, and what do you think over the next 5 to 6 quarters, how much gap you have to bridge on these terms and the potential impact on the content cost? Second is on your market growth. How has been the ad market growth in all the 4 south markets, and have you been able to take some share this quarter or in the last 9 months? And where do you see the market growing next fiscal? And what's your current dividend policy? Just trying to check that.
So in terms of the number of slots in prime time, from last year, literally it was 0. All the slots were with the private producers. Now we have 2 slots in the prime time, and in the non-prime time in Sun TV we have 2 slots, which was actually everything was with the private producers. So currently we are having 4 slots moved away from PP to commission. But there is no fixed plan. Basically, it all depends on when your particular fiction is getting over, or where we see some challenges in the rating numbers. So it all depends on that. But over a period of time, it could be a 50-50 situation. So basically we will have 50% of the overall slot with us, 50% still continue to be in the private producer model. So with reference to the growth in ad revenue, I think we are extremely optimistic about the overall growth which will happen in the very macro level, because that's the indication we are getting, because hopefully I think this year there should not be any disruption from any external factors like demonetization and GST. So that being said, then I think we should see some robust growth numbers. So we are gearing up to get our due share of our the overall ad revenue pie. Yeah, but on the dividend,
the dividend, I think we maintain about 2/3 of distribution at this point in time. Like there have been a couple of questions earlier, board will consider whether there will be any incremental dividend for the current fiscal. We hope to hear from them before the end of this fiscal. SL also was mentioning of the need to conserve resources considering a possible requirements. So I think at this point of we in terms of policy is about 2/3 distribution of the pie. Pay of pleasure, they want 2/3.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Alankar Garude from Macquarie. Please go ahead.
Hi, sir. Thank you for the opportunity and congrats on the strong ad growth. A couple of questions from my side. Firstly, you mentioned about gaining share in Kerala and Karnataka. Is it possible for you to highlight broadly what was the gap in ad rates between us and the leader, say, about a year back or a couple of years back? And how has that changed now in these two markets?
No, I think pricing gains and all are still some time away. Let's first, make some improvements in the way we are standing in the rankings. Price increases will automatically follow, but at this point in time, as Mahesh said, the ratings are firing, and we are definitely making some serious inroads into that market. So we would take one step at a time. Right? Yeah.
Sure, sir. And so secondly, so there's another strong competitor who will be launching soon in Tamil Nadu. Just wanted to check with you. So versus, say, well-established broadcasters in Tamil Nadu like us, what could be possible challenges for a new entrant to gain distribution reach in that state?
See, whatever we did vis-a-vis the other competitors, we'll have to make sure that we stay alert. We continue to invest in top quality content. We continue to retain people and do whatever it takes to defend our position. I mean, that said, as an objective analyst, I can say that if more people come, definitely there could be some pressure on market share, but we will try not to lose our positioning. But just as we have a very dominant position and that's being, targeted by several people, we will also go to other markets where there are bigger growth opportunities and step up our investments there and try to grow the top line and bottom line. There's a constant quest for balancing several objectives. But then whatever we have done thus far to defend and grow our position, we'll have to just do more of the same.
Thank you. Here's the next question from the line of Amit Kumar from Investec Capital. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you so much for the opportunity, team. Just a quick one. You sort of talked about, the existing subscription revenue of 1,100 crore and, Tamil Nadu could potentially add 350, 400 crores. So thanks for that data point. But within the existing market, so this 1,100 crores, subscription revenue that you already have, what is the potential within this as well? So has sort of digitization got, 2 points really, has digitization sort of got completed in our remaining 3 markets, which is Kerala, Karnataka and Andhra, Telangana, and have we sort of reaped the entire benefits of, those?
Very good question, Amit. Actually, you're right. As people, upgrade to better models of TV, invariably they will upgrade to HD. And with HD, we get slightly better price. And similarly, whatever, happens in the next few years, as, these contracts come up for renewal, wherever we have taken some very aggressive positions with a view to growing our numbers, we could have some additional leverage to take prices up. I'm not saying that it will definitely happen, but generally we have seen how things pan out. Because at the end of the day, the guy who owns the content is king. Because it shouldn't go to a ridiculous point where, we start harming our own prospects. But we'll have to play it by ear. But I do believe that there will be some opportunities for taking the per capita subscription prices up. But we are not factoring in all those projections at this point in time.
Thank you.
Hello?
Yes, thank you. The next question is on the line of Siddharth Mehra from Nomura. Please go ahead.
Yes, sir. Thanks for the opportunity. Sir, sorry to bother you on the content cost question again. So I just wanted to understand that when you refer to that 2 slots in prime time and 2 slots in afternoon, does it mean that you have 4 original programming hours in commission content for Tamil Nadu?
4 half an hour slots.
half an hour slots. Okay, so
Yes.
so basically it would mean that you have 2 hours out of 8 to 9 hours you have total original programming for Tamil Nadu in commission content. Correct, sir?
Yeah.
Okay. So, sir, my question then is basically we have seen a very sharp, like 50% jump in the content costs in this quarter, but our revenue growth seems to not have followed the pace, because ideally when we have more commission content, we are having a lot of more advertisement time with us. So that should have led to improvement in our advertisement revenues as well, but that does not seem to have been the case for the last few quarters. What are we missing here? I mean,
No, actually, see, it is not, the entire cost is not attributed to this. Basically, I think, like I said, there are also one-off, costs, primarily because I think there was a big event which we bought in Tamil Nadu. And also, there's also
Pay channel service.
Yeah, service charge. See, it's not the content cost. It is the cost of sale. So it includes a lot of other components which is not related to content.
So the pay channel revenue also has gone up. So we have the pay channel service charges also coming as part of this COR. So I think those things should, if you remove, I think on the spends which we have made for either the reality content or the soap, the commission soap, we have earned sufficient and good revenue.
Okay, so sir, how much will be this from the content cost in this quarter? Just to understand what will be the sustainable content cost rate going ahead, because it has consistently been rising up. So just wanted to understand that will it normalize from these levels or will it continue going up?
I think it should normalize at this level.
But you should, Siddharth, you should keep in mind that every quarter, depending on the availability of such reality shows or events, we do buy-in. So it's a question of what comes in. Like this quarter, again, we had an event in Malaysia where the local Nadigar Sangam had a fundraising event. So that's also come during the Pongal time. So that keeps varying. But if you want to remove that off, maybe about 5-6 crores at least at the minimum level one should knock off to ensure to have a parity with the previous sequential quarter.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Himanshu Shah from HDFC Securities. Please go ahead.
Thanks, sir. Thanks a lot for the opportunity. So just want to understand on our entry into News Honor, by when should we expect, and what are the steps we are working on towards that in terms of content lineup, management team, etc. And should we expect it in current calendar year or something?
No, on which
new markets you are talking about?
New markets entry.
Yeah, we have taken some. We've taken some steps, and we have also put a small team in place. But I think it's still too early days. But I think we are moving in the direction. But I can't give you any firm date or commitment. But our internal target is to maybe launch at least one or get into one regional market in the next financial year.
Okay, sir. Thanks. That is useful.
Thank you.
That's it from my side.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Jiten Doshi from Enam Asset Management. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thanks. All my questions have been answered. Thank you so much.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Amit Kumar from Investec Capital. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you again so much for the opportunity, sir. Just a quick one on the IPL, franchise. I just wanted to understand, this, Star and BCCI contract, the new, deal renewal at 16,300, crores. Will sort of Star pay to BCCI and then BCCI pay to you on an equalized fashion, which is 16,000 crores divided by 5 in the first year and then a similar sort of payment over the next 4 years?
Only 45% will get distributed to the franchise.
Yeah, I understand that, sir. I'm just trying to understand the phasing of this 16,300 odd crore payment by Star to BCCI.
That is something only between the broadcaster and the board. We are not privy to that. But if my understanding here is right, it basically starts low and starts growing year after year and peaks in the final year.
Thank you. With the next question from the line of Gautam Rankawat from Intellect Stock. Please go ahead.
Hi, sir. Thank you for the opportunity and congratulations on good set of numbers. Just a couple of bookkeeping questions. Just wish to know what is your net subscriber base for the DTH and quarter-on-quarter and year-on-year and your net add. And what would be the DTH revenue for quarter-on-quarter and year-on-year basis?
Gautam, it's not clear. Can you kindly repeat? I think you're too closer to the mic.
Just couple of bookkeeping questions. Just wish to know what is your net subscriber base for DTH and quarter-on-quarter and year-on-year basis, and your net add for the quarter-on-quarter and year-on-year basis, and your DTH revenue as well for quarter-on-quarter and year-on-year basis.
Yeah. See, the DTH revenue for December 17 was around 187 crores. Yeah, you want the December 16 you asked for or what?
Quarter-on-quarter and as well as year-on-year for Q3FY18, Q2FY18 and Q3FY17.
Okay, December 17 was 187 crores. December 16 was about 167 crores.
Okay.
And as far as the sub base is concerned, December 17 was around 14.45 million and September was 14.30 million.
Thank you. We have the next question from the line of Jay Doshi from Kotak Securities. Please go ahead.
Hi, thanks again. Can you sort of share some thoughts on what would be your M&A or acquisition strategy, given the fact that you indicated twice on this call that you're looking at acquisition opportunities? So what are the areas that you're looking at? What are the areas that interest you, and what are the areas maybe you need to acquire to build some capabilities?
No, nothing like that. We think that in a time like this we should stay liquid. That's about it.
Understood. So you're not looking actively. You're not looking actively at any opportunities, acquisitions.
No. We are a very, very tight-fisted company that way. We will not go rushing into the market at the first sign of an opportunity. So there's nothing on the anvil now. I'm just saying that in a time like this, it pays to be very solidly liquid, because you never know.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Sagar Parekh from Deep Finance. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you for the opportunity. So you mentioned about ARPU increase opportunity coming from the currently digitized, customers. But is there any further, shift happening? We can envisage in the next, couple of years from analog to digital customers in the non-TN market?
See, when people move from standard definition to high definition, there is an immediate upside.
Right.
And I'm saying that like most people are upgrading from the conventional TVs to flat panels, and from flat panels to full HD. So there is definitely the normal migration from standard definition to high definition, which itself has an inherent ARPU enhancement opportunity. And of course, the other possibility is on dual television sets in most homes, and that's a trend which will also happen. But I'm saying that it's too difficult to put a number on these. I mean, it's one hell of a prognosis to make at this point in time. So which is why we're not even looking at those kind of upsides. Hello.
Sure. And this 350 to 400 crores number that you said is purely from Arasu or it's
Tamil Nadu.
Okay, fine. And double-digit ad revenue growth is for next year looks fairly reasonable.
Yeah. See, the one good thing that's happened is the big national advertisers are back. We didn't have that confidence till the DMON and GST effects went away. We were quite optimistic that, in fact, many people asked us in the last conference call, if you're going to grow at double digit, you need to grow at 20% in the second half. And we were fairly sure when that thing happened because we were looking at, the revival of interest in spending by the big advertisers. So this year, I think we should be able to deliver on that promise that we made. And if this thing continues, and despite all the uncertainties looming large on financial markets worldwide, I still think that the next financial year should be a good one.
Thank you. The next question is on the line of Sonar Kohli from ENR Advisors. Please go ahead.
Thank you once again for this opportunity. So just wanted to understand, considering the changes which have happened at strategic level at Star TV, do you consider that to be a positive, negative for you, or doesn't really impact things in terms of focus of the existing management? Or, whenever there's a change, it leads to, people not making investments?
The Star TV change, the expectation.
No. I think, they're an outstanding bunch of people. Irrespective of what's happening internationally, the team led by the leader here, they will execute fabulously. They are a very, very credible set of competitors. So it's business as usual. We're not seeing any change.
Thank you. The next question is on the line of Sanjay Chawla from JM Financial. Please go ahead.
Hi, thanks for the opportunity again. Just a couple of clarifications. One, of course, is on the OTT content side. You're charging 50 rupees and you have a huge catalog and library available. But what is the strategy or thought process behind original content exclusive for your OTT platform? And did you mention that there is some content cost related is reflecting in your this OTT related content cost is reflecting in this quarter's numbers? Just wanted a clarification on that. Secondly,
we are unlikely to produce any OTT only exclusive content in the foreseeable future. Okay. Because that is something that we are reading about it, we are looking at it very actively, but I don't think we are going to launch that in a hurry.
Did you mention there's some OTT related cost reflecting in this quarter's content cost?
No. Last year, if you look at the previous year December numbers, we didn't have an OTT. So there is a team that's working on OTT. There is a lot of
operating costs, all of them. It's all there in the 2 quarters, September and December quarter.
Okay. And secondly, this another clarification. CSR expense was there in the 4th quarter last fiscal. This quarter, we should also expect the same?
Last fiscal, we had, I think, cumulatively spent the entire amount in the Q4.
Yeah.
Right, and it's quite an amount which we need to spend also. So this year we're more cautious. We've done it over the 3-4 quarters. Over 3 quarters, and this quarter also we have done some spend.
So you have already incurred some CSR expense in the first 3 quarters in terms of what you have.
Yes, correct. So if you look at September and December, the comparative quarters of 16 did not have it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And just last question. You mentioned 350 to 400 crores of subscription revenue potential from Tamil Nadu post gas in terms of the incremental revenue. Now, if you this sort of suggests that we are looking at roughly 20 rupees ARPU on the digital cable side. We haven't seen we have seen probably around 10 rupees or a little lower than that in the existing digital cable markets in outside of Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, Kerala, and Karnataka. So, compared to less than 10 that we are getting now, realizing now.
The mistake that you're making is you're assuming everything is going into digital cable. Actually, the number that I've taken is a blend of DTH and digital cable. So, if anything, we'll do better than this 20 rupees.
Right. Thank you. The next question from the line of Amit Kumar from Investec Capital. Please go ahead.
Hi, thank you so much. Just one bookkeeping question. If you can help me with, the capex for 9-month FY18 between fixed assets and film capex.
Maybe I don't have the figure on hand, Amit. I'll come back to you.
All right, sure, sir. Not an issue. Thank you.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, that was the last question.